Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes, facts,
Boots.
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Brute Force, Protectors of the Environment.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined as always by the wonderful, if they had an award for co-host, you know what? I will give you the Bros, Foes, and Bros, Foes, and Heroes award for co-host of the year.
I like Bros, Foes, and Awards.
Okay, that's it though. If I could talk.
Just for the
Mr.
award
Bach, there we
ceremony.
go.
Thank you very much.
No
I'd like
problem.
to thank the Academy, God, my family.
I think that's it.
Is that all?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's it.
The
thanked everybody.
comic books. I'd like to thank comic books. You're playing me off.
Yeah.
Hey, so I went by McDonald's on the way here.
Uh-huh.
Not that you care, but
Well, I mean, I can tell by the
no
cup,
one's
but-
going to care. But I always order ahead on the app, right? Because I get a free something
Okay.
out of it. Yeah, like I got $1 fries this time, and they were the big fries, right?
Okay. Yeah.
The app is automatically choosing for me to pick it up at the counter without my knowledge. And you've never seen a drive-through line. It's one step away from like anarchy. You know, when you drive up and go, I order 1613, and they go, oh, it's invalid. What? I'm looking at it. It's right here.
Yeah.
Oh, it says to pick it up at the counter. Oh, then you have to come inside. I'm in a line. There's cars behind me. I can't get out.
They won't let you just.
Oh, let me ask my manager. Oh, come to the second window. Literally, it's like 2 steps. You know, take it from the counter, give it to me. That's it. But anyway, this kid was he did not understand what was going on.
Oh, I'm sorry about your.
But we got
McDonald's
double the
run.
nuggets.
Oh, there you go.
I ate nuggets. Mason ate nuggets.
I love nuggets.
I'm sorry I didn't bring any nuggets.
No, that's fine. You didn't. I didn't ask you to.
I should have, though.
No.
If you're going to bring gum, bring enough for the whole class.
Yeah, but still, you didn't know.
You're gonna
that
bring
the whole
nuggets.
the whole class was going to be.
If you're going to bring pink slime, bring enough for the whole family.
So
All right, what do we got?
I have something that I think you will love. I loved it when I found it. This is also just kind of beginning a theme for the next couple weeks that I just kind of stumbled onto, but it's
Yeah.
going to be well worth it.
Very nice. I love a theme.
I think the best way before we get into what it is itself is I'm going to show you the cover
Okay.
and then I'm going to explain some backstory behind
All
it.
right, fantastic. I
The
love a good cover.
name of this series, and it's from the end of 1990. August 1990 is when this debuted.
Okay.
The name of the comic is Brute Force.
Oh, yes. That is fantastic.
What do you
So,
see on the cover there, Mike?
We got a dolphin who is in a cyborg suit. We got a kangaroo who looks to all be made of robotics except for his face. We got a robot lion with a real lion's head, and then maybe a panther, I think, in sort of a mech suit. Yeah. That's great.
So, the story, just real quick before we get into Brute Force itself, is...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you know.
Go ahead.
Do you think when they put this number 1 in a 4-issue limited series, the artists are like, oh, I gotta make 4 of these?
So let me tell you the story a bit
Okay,
about this
yeah,
because
please
it'll
do.
lead to it a bit. So Marvel we've talked about some comics from their Star imprint back in the 80s, which
Right.
is what a lot of their licensed comics were. They made comics for so many toys, like
Yeah, sure.
Transformers,
Mhm.
Micronauts,
Oh,
ROM.
is this a thing?
So Marvel was making all these comics for everybody else's toys.
Yeah.
Marvel thought to himself,
Oh, they're making
why
their
not we
own
make
toys.
a comic and we'll just let the toy people come to us?
Yeah, that's actually not bad,
So
Marvel, because I know of the time of which you speak, and it was just all
well, the
toy
thing is
shit
though,
all over
this
the place.
is kind of the end. This is
Yeah.
August of
this'll kill it.
1990.
Yeah. Because the thing they don't tell you is they just sold the suit. You had to get your own dolphin.
Yeah, that's true.
Sure.
Buy separately. So the thought behind this series in the first place is we can make this cool concept that kids will like, and then
Yeah.
toy companies will be like, "Oh yeah, we can make toys out of that and
Anything
license
that's
it."
led by a dolphin.
The
probably
only
not gonna
thing
make it.
is nobody ever came calling about the toys, but instead we have I think we've talked about this before, but I do have a soft spot in my heart for comics that are just like so bad they're good in a way.
Yeah.
And
get that.
this, like the concept behind it is ridiculous, but
Well,
it's
it's like
great.
Archie versus Predator, that
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, they're so bad they're good.
So let's go ahead and dive into.
That one was amazing though because they took it serious.
Oh yes,
They never winked at the camera, never any of that stuff.
I
Yeah.
did
It was
really
cool.
enjoy that.
Yeah, it was cool.
So
This not so much.
well, just give it a shot. You haven't
The Animal
met
Kingdom
everybody yet.
joins the fight to save planet Earth. Is this about the same time as Captain Planet?
I'm sure around.
Probably around that.
Yeah, I
5-6
know he's
year
around.
period.
Like
Yeah.
he's on TV
Yeah.
around this time. I'm pretty sure. It does say protectors of the environment.
Mhm.
So when a book about
What a lame
animals
fight, by the way. I'm
and
sorry.
the environment,
I understand the environment's important, but for a comic book, for action and stuff, that's just a lame fight.
it is.
you
We're
know?
we're introduced to our
We
main
love
character,
recycling.
which is Dr. Pierce here.
Mm.
I can't. Is it Richard? What
He
is
has a
his first
ponytail
name?
and
He
a
has a
lab
ponytail.
coat.
He's a cool doctor.
And
That's
a
how
bunch
you
of
know.
clowns running at him.
So yeah, he, as you can see, is working on saving this gorilla's life, but for somehow in the process of saving him, and includes like a, what are those called? A bandolier
Mm-hmm.
full of like bullets and
Like you see at your local shot girl.
yeah. Essentially, what he's done to help save this gorilla is he's fashioned him with some sort of like mech suit, right?
Yeah. Because that's what gorillas need. They're not deadly enough.
And what his machine does, like I'm not going to dive into all of this. If you
Okay.
want to get into all the nooks and crannies of this, I suggest you
No,
read it
thank you.
yourself. Well, still. But so he has all of this. Dr. Pierce is this world-renowned doctor, and apparently he's been working on all of this, I guess, machinery for animals.
He's
somehow.
he's a well-known monkey surgeon.
Yeah. Clowns bust in and demand to take the gorilla from him in all of his mech glory.
Do you ever stop and take note? Just like, and
Of
then
things that I
clowns bust
say?
in and yeah.
Yeah, no, it's gonna get. There's gonna be.
They've got
things,
like submachine guns in
they
their hands.
do.
I mean,
It's
they're
clowns with submachine guns
short sleeves.
and short sleeves. They're all dressed the same though.
Yeah.
But they end up letting the gorilla off the table, and he destroys stuff
This
because
is at Multicorp.
yes, Multicorp is where Dr. Pierce works. But this mech suit essentially just makes this gorilla super strong. And it also gives them the
Whoops.
ability, it increases, we'll find out with the others, it increases their intelligence and gives them the ability to speak,
Sure.
right? So, amongst other things.
I'm thinking as a scientist, as a doctor, as somebody who develops this thing,
Mm-hmm.
one of those things is good enough.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, I taught animals to speak.
Nope.
Oh, look, I made animals super strong.
You don't win Nobel Prizes that way, Mike.
Oh,
You just
okay.
get nominated for
got
one thing.
3
You
out of
win them
3.
if you do 3.
Yeah.
So, the clowns steal the gorilla that they were
Nobel
working on.
Prize with a fucking mech gorilla standing next to you. No, put it on him.
Yeah. So, we do flash to
Fresh air.
Fresh Air is the name of the environment group.
Okay, that's
Not-
great.
not
But just
NPR.
apropos of nothing, a guy's holding up a giant golf check that's made out to fresh air.
So we are then introduced to one of the USA's
That's hilarious.
biggest and most powerful corporations, which is Multicorp, which employs Dr. Pierce, who is the famed monkey surgeon, as Mike likes to put it out.
He is a monkey surgeon.
Dr. Pierce also is a part of this environmental group called Fresh Air that's all
Yeah.
about, taking
Okay.
care of the Earth's environment.
Okay.
So Multicorp, to show like, hey, we're here to support you guys and we support Dr. Pierce's research, like we're funding that. Here's also a check for $50,000 to help you guys fight, for a cleaner Earth.
Yeah, got to get that fresh air.
Exactly. Multicorp's got to look good. Well, Dr. Pierce is there to tell the head guy of Multicorp that, hey, somebody's come and taken the gorilla.
Yeah.
But Mr. What is his name? I'm trying to find his name so that way I know what to reply to him as the rest of the episode, because he is going to be, spoiler alert, our main villain.
No.
Yeah, the head of Multicorp is not.
The head of a multinational corporation is going to be a villain in a child show? Come on.
Mm-hmm. Where is this?
Did he buy the ski lodge? And
Mr.
Dad's gonna
Frost.
tear it
There we
down?
go.
Mr. Frost.
Mr. Frost is the head of
Wait,
Multicorp.
what? That's a DC villain, isn't it?
No, that's Mr. Freeze.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Frost,
His
the
brother.
businessman, is the head of Multicorp.
No, don't call me Mr. Freeze. Just call me Mr. Frost. It's fine.
Dr. Pierce goes to Mr. Frost, the head of the evil organization.
Boy,
and
he
says-
has an evil head too,
He
doesn't
does.
he?
He said, hey,
Yeah.
they've stolen our gorilla in a mech suit. And he's like, yeah, I know. We're on it. You should figure out what's going on there.
Yeah,
And
he
he's
had
like,
the
you
clown
know,
steal it, didn't he?
we must keep this in our own. He did.
Yeah.
You're jumping way ahead of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know why though. If you own it, why you hired somebody to steal it unless you're trying to not
Insurance
make
money.
it look like you.
Insurance.
What we do find out though is there's another evil corporation, not as big as Multicorp.
Multicorp too.
Yeah, that is bulldozing rainforest land that's grazing
Who needs 'em?
area, right?
Who
For
needs 'em?
some other, giant mall or something.
Listen,
probably.
Zach. It's hot enough here already. Let's just get rid of those things.
Exactly.
Too sweaty. Too
so
sweaty.
we see Dr. Pierce back in his lab with all these animals, kind of in his. I guess he was doing.
Yeah. He's got
Experiments
a
on them?
dolphin in a tank. He's got an eagle, a bald eagle in a cage. He's got a kangaroo just running around
And
loose.
a bear and a lion.
Well, why does a kangaroo get to just run
I
around
don't know.
loose?
Well, here's the thing. His son comes in,
Oh, he's
and
got a
he's
son.
like, I wish I could do something about it. And his son's like, yo, Dad, you can. And he just starts, like a little kid, just starts eating his burger there in the
What?
science area, leaving a mess.
Why do comic book kids always look like Hitler Youth? You know,
I don't know.
they're always blonde-headed, blue-eyed.
That's where Dr. Pierce realizes by looking at his son's
Oh,
trash that all the
Tasty
clowns were
Burger.
dressed up like the Tasty Burger mascot,
Oh yeah,
which is also owned
I
by
would buy that
Multicorp.
shirt right there.
Tasty
If it just
Burger
said
with that
Tasty Burger and had that
freaky
big
clown?
freaky clown on it. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and a heartbeat.
Essentially, though, long story short, he doesn't know how he's going to fight, and his son basically talks him into, why don't you use the rest of your equipment on the animals you have here?
By the way, that doesn't identify the guys who broke in. That's just a damn clown.
That's true. He's like,
I mean, I'm just saying
it's the clown.
he's clumping all
by the way,
clowns
the
together.
The clown's name is Tasty Tony. Tasty with 2 E's.
Sure,
Because
tasty.
Tasty Burger.
Yeah,
And he says,
but that means Tony is tasty.
that's where they're taking him. He goes, this is terrible. My own creation, and he's going to help damage the environment. He realizes
no,
that's why they kidnapped the gorillas to help him go tear down the rainforest.
he'll never recycle.
And his son goes, so now you've got to send more animals after him, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. That seems like it would be, that would have to take some responsibility for our actions, and I don't know if we should do that or not.
This
And he
kid's
looks
what,
at
like
the-
11?
Yeah, well, no, the scientist is like, I don't know if we should do this.
I understand, but I'm saying he's taking advice from 11-year-old.
Yeah. But he decides, yeah, that's good. And so he uses all of his equipment and he puts it on those animals that are there.
Oh, that poor kangaroo.
And so, yeah,
Put a tiny
we have
helmet
a
on it.
bear, a kangaroo, a dolphin, an eagle, and a lion that are now all in mech suits that can now all speak English. The bear has a bazooka.
Oh, nice.
It hasn't come up yet, but the eagle is bossy and he thinks he's the leader of the
Sure.
group.
Sure.
There's arguments there. He also can shoot lasers from his eyes. Don't know how that. I'm just trying to think of things we're going to come up across just to try
Is there a serum involved?
No, it's just these suits
They just put the suits on.
and their helmets that they wear.
Mm.
So yeah, we have a
You would think a
land
serum,
walking. Huh?
You would think a serum.
Yeah, you would think, but no, it's just.
Lightning strike.
So
Something.
he sends his animal group out to the rainforest to stop.
Just any one of them.
No, all 5 of
No,
them.
I'm saying any rainforest.
Oh well, no, the
yeah,
one
just
that's
go to that
being,
rainforest.
the one that's being bulldozed.
Oh, okay.
And they send them out there to kind of stop what's being done.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's really cool. They show up looking like a bunch of badasses. Like the lion turns
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
into a motorcycle and stuff.
I like how they have vehicles, or they can turn into
They turn into vehicles
Yeah.
because of toys.
Yes, exactly.
But I mean, this is a group
Because
that
of
just
toys.
fell out of the plane when they got there. They're not working together well.
Uh-huh.
And so while they're out here,
Who would have thunk you put all those weird wild animals together? They don't work well together.
while they're out here, they end up doing more harm than good.
Mm.
And they end up basically causing just as much damage to the rainforest as they would have, if they
These
wouldn't have
guys
done
are the
anything.
reason we lost our rainforest.
In a way, I haven't told you. I guess now's the time. I should introduce you to our 5 members
Please do.
of the brute force squad.
Johnny
here.
hops a lot.
No.
Gregory the gorilla. Bob the bear. And what's the other one? Panther. Peter the Panther.
No, there's
Oh.
the bear is Reckless. WRECKLESS. Reckless. The lion is named Lionheart.
Gross.
Where's the other one? He's talking to the
Who's
eagle.
the dolphin?
The dolphin is named like it's something scream.
Slappy.
Sud scream.
Slappy the dolphin.
Here we go. The eagle doesn't like his name and he changes it.
Mm.
The Dr. Pierce calls him Slip Screen and he goes, "No, my name is Soar." So the eagle names himself Soar.
Okay.
It's
It's a little on the nose, but sure.
I'm just trying to remember the last two names here.
Yeah, I need a kangaroo and I need a dolphin.
Kangaroo and a dolphin, and I'm trying to remember where they pop up because I think like one of them is maybe the kangaroo is just like hip hop or something like that.
Hip hop. That makes total sense.
He does kind of speak like he's the cool one of the group.
Oh, yeah. He's the Leonardo.
Yeah. Well, no. Michelangelo's the cool one of the group.
Whatever. I just picked one. I don't know.
Did you
anything
never
about
watch
them.
much
I don't know.
of
I don't know anything about those turtles.
I don't know. We'll come across their names later.
Except
and
that
I'll
they
give
were
them
in
to
black
you.
and white, and then all of a sudden they were in color.
Yeah, and that they killed Shredder in the first comic, and they had to bring him back, obviously, to have a big bad. But we'll come to their silly names
just
when
let
we
me
get
know
there.
whenever you get to it.
But so, like I said, they end up causing just as much damage, if not, more from the fires.
Sure.
But they're able to stop the guys from tearing up any more of the rainforest. And he
Great.
finds out, like, hey, who are you working for?
Replanted those trees.
And they realize that even this group that's out there tearing up the rainforest also works for Multicore.
They work at a Trump Tower too. It looks
They
like.
do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because after stealing the gorilla, Mr. Frost has an evil animal team of his own named Heavy Metal.
Yeah, I like this. If I were a kid, this team wins because this is a rhino, a shark with freaking saw blades all over him, a condor, I guess,
Yeah,
what that
or like
is?
a vulture.
and a condor vulture or something with missiles on his wings, and then an octopus that has like tank treads.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that team wins.
They do all the time. So let's go ahead and go to issue 2 of our brute force, where now they're just kind of out patrolling, looking for ways they can help the environment. Soar drops like a giant boulder onto a smokestack,
No,
so
I
it like
thought you said he was going to drop.
so it like smokes out everybody in the pollution plant, like
Yeah.
Reckless the bear is too busy playing with other bears that
Goes
he
to
found in
sleep.
the forest. Lionheart, he's like checking in. Hey, Lionheart, what are you doing? And Lionheart is actually trying to eat some farmers' cows.
Sure. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, these are
Wait,
obviously
are those cows or sheep?
they're cows. I think
They're
Maybe-
white cows?
Yeah, I mean they don't look fluffy like
Cows
sheep.
are all
See,
white.
look at
Yeah,
that.
those are cows, definitely. Yeah, you're right.
So it's just not going well
Albino
with them
cows.
protecting the environment.
How dare he?
Where is this? Yeah, Hip Hop is the name of the
Hip
kangaroo.
hop. There you go.
Hip Hop sees some people just illegally dumping stuff, and he
Yeah.
just gets upset
Sure.
by it.
Sure.
Right? Well, he's
It's like
jumping
that-
to head back, and he comes across a
It's like that Indian on the side of the road
yeah with the
tearing
tear.
up about the
He comes
litter.
across a picnic playing some tunes on a boombox. He just turns on the music and starts eating their food.
No, sure.
And then we get
Oh,
here
hip-hop.
we go. Oh, hip hop. We're gonna get to the last one, who's the only one who's actually gonna be able to do anything. That is Surf Streak is the name of the dolphin.
Surf Streak.
Surf Streak.
That's terrible.
Surf Streak.
Just call him Surf.
So Surf Streak basically comes across this oil tanker.
Waterlogged.
And when he comes up to the oil tanker that's leaking stuff, they realize that Heavy Metal is there.
He looks effing ridiculous. Look at that. This dog.
I think
Wait,
he looks
his
awesome.
suit's green, then it's yellow.
Well, it's because it's underwater.
Oh, okay.
You know, things
Are
change
these
going.
wheels?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But so,
Why would something underwater need those wheels?
I don't know. Heavy Metal
sure.
is attacking this oil tanker ship.
Man, Heavy Metal's badass. I like them.
Yeah, right? The
They really
gorilla
are,
has
yeah. Like a mace.
a yes, and there's the octopus who's just like wreaking
Again,
havoc. He's
he-
holding guns. The
Yeah,
octopus is
yeah.
shooting
And he's got
guns.
tank treads. He's
oh, yeah.
badass. Yeah.
So, Uproar, I believe, is the name of the gorilla.
Uproar.
I don't know if I can remember.
I would just name him Congo or something like that.
I'm pretty
you
sure
know?
it's Uproar though. I have to just read through to find these because they never
Yeah.
like have a name page. They always
Yeah.
just call out to each other.
Yeah, and the rhino. It's kind of badass too.
Oh, Bloodbath is the name of the shark.
Okay, that makes
That's
sense.
an awesome name.
That is a good name.
I can't see the other one's names. When we come across the octopus and
What was the octopus from like the cartoons called? Squidly Diddly?
Squidly
That's his name.
Diddly, yeah.
Squidly Diddly.
Oh, the vulture is named Tail Gunner.
Tail Gunner, because he shoots bullets out
Out
of
of
his
his-
butt.
I mean, that hasn't come up yet. So they're just wreaking havoc on this
Yeah,
tanker. The dolphin, Surf Streak and Bloodbath get into a fight,
sure. I did a little
which makes sense because they're enemies out in
right,
the wild.
sure, but a little piece of spoiler here. Cover your ears if you don't like. Shark's gonna win. Just telling you.
Actually, in this case, he does. He bites through some of Surf Streak's armor
Oh wow.
as Uproar, the giant gorilla for heavy metal, the bad guys, sends a giant magnet down there and sucks him up because they're leaving from the tanker.
He just has a magnet on him.
Yeah, I guess it's all attached to this helicopter,
Oh, it's attached to their bad guy vehicle.
their bad guy helicopter,
yeah.
because that could have been sold separately too,
Oh yeah, look at this thing.
right?
That's a lot of assembly.
So, but because they've gotten word from Mr. Frost, they need to
There's
leave.
a whole lot of stepdads that are very happy that this never made it to toys, so they didn't have to put it together.
That's true. So Heavy Metal leaves because Mr. Frost is called and told him to. And the reason he does that, granted, he's angry that they couldn't stop brute force.
It looks like Avengers Tower.
It is,
That's what it kinda looks like, you know?
But what happens is when the Coast Guard arrives, they see, oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. So Dr. Pierce goes up and shows like, hey, to Mr. Frost, I know that you stole the gorilla stuff and I know that you're in charge of Heavy Metal. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
out you.
Gonna get you.
And he has security escort him off the facilities. He's been fired.
Get
Right?
out of here, Mr. Multicorp.
So they
Oh
go,
no, I guess Dr. Pierce.
Dr. Pierce.
Get out of here, Dr. Pierce.
So
we don't need you anymore.
3 hours later, after he gets fired, they attack another tanker.
Does it say 3 hours later?
And just say 3 hours later,
Okay.
in the balmy calm of a New Orleans afternoon.
Got to be very specific on
So it's
time,
another
right?
tanker, and Heavy Metal goes and attacks that one too. But Dr. Pierce has planned for this, so brute force is ready to attack them this time. All together, they land on the tanker. It's the battle of the two, robot animal groups.
I love how the gorilla bangs something and goes crush.
Crush.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. I don't see any other new names yet. So whenever they come. But so battle ensues between like the Rhino is able to knock out Lionheart, the Vulture and our bear going at it. So it's just calamity ensuing as they're just fighting amongst one another. I guess to see who is the more superior mech suit wearing animal team. But what happens is the Coast Guard or
Tale
FBI,
as old as time.
the FBI shows up. They've been given a tip by Mr. Frost
Yeah.
that there's an attack on this oil tanker, and Heavy Metal is able to leave.
And they brought all of the animatronic presidents from the Hall of Records. of
Yes, they're all
Disney.
there.
They're all
But-
coming after these animals.
Heavy Metal is able to escape, and Heavy Metal is able to escape, and so all that's left on the tanker is Dr. Pierce and brute force.
And Pierce
and
has
the
been
FBI catches him, and they blame all the animals are able to leave, but they arrest Dr. Pierce for ensuing all these crimes and using brute force to do it all.
and he was there at January 6th. So
Yes, with his animal team.
he went ahead and arrested him.
So right now, the leader,
Wow.
Dr. Pierce, is in jail. The animals don't know what to do, but Heavy Metal's out there causing problems for the environment. They got to fix that.
When was the environment mentioned again? I don't remember
Well,
that.
the
in
tanker,
second one.
the tanker was
the
leaking
tanker one.
oil.
Yeah, okay.
That's why they were
Got
there
it.
in the first place, but then they encountered.
Got it.
So I think now's a perfect time than any for us to take a quick break. And when we come
It
back,
is.
we'll see what happens with Dr. Pierce.
Wonderful. See you in a minute.
Let's go ahead and dive into issue 3, which if you wanted, this is what I found very strange.
He just left us. He's in there.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, just left us. Our producer just left us.
I think he just gets bored. And that's cool. That's fine.
He's working on something else.
So if you wanted to continue that story, something
Yes.
that I've never seen really done before, this is like a separate standalone story, and then they finish it up in the fourth one.
Wow. That's weird.
It's kind of like there's ties
Like
to
time
it.
shifted.
There's ties, like, I mean, it's tied to it. The story continues, but it feels like this is just kind of, all right, we're going from point A to point B. Oh, hey, look at this shiny
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So
That tends to happen.
Brute Force is now without their leader as Dr. Richard Pierce
Mm-hmm.
was arrested last issue.
For fondling animals.
No, he
Oh.
was just there on that tanker. At that,
Oh, okay.
But he did decide to use all of his research to make this equipment for these animals.
Yeah, there's got to be something sexual here, right?
I don't know if there
Okay,
is.
I'm
There's
just
something
saying.
sexual in everything.
I'm
at this
just
point.
saying. This. What is it? Rule 34,
Yes, that is Rule 34.
right?
Brute Force goes to the home of this redheaded dude who's an associate of Dr. Pierce's. We saw him earlier in a previous episode. Like, they worked together at Fresh Air.
Yeah. Okay.
So they realize, all right, he's in trouble. We need to go get somebody to help us
This guy
find a way
looks
to get him
nuts.
back.
He looks nuts.
Well, he's getting ready for their Fresh Air like meeting that they're about to have.
Oh, okay.
So Brute Force is there, and they tell them like, hey, Mr. Frost, after they wreck his house, of course, because
Yeah. Sure.
they're dumb animals.
Well, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't they?
It made them smart, but
Look at 'em
not as
throwing all
smart
the-
as us.
Look at him throwing all the food on the floor out of the refrigerator.
Yeah. So they're there to basically tell him like, hey, Dr. Pierce has been arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Frost is a bad guy. He has an evil robot team too. Like, we
Sure.
need to go help them.
Help us, Annie.
The FBI does not believe that Dr. Pierce is responsible for this stuff.
Yeah.
They don't have.
Oh, the FBI doesn't believe
Yeah,
it?
no. They don't have like anybody else to blame
Mhm.
or like anybody to put it on. So
Couldn't be that guy over
they
there with
can't
the
let him
evil
go.
team.
Well, yeah, they
Yeah.
can't let him go. But both the agents, you can tell, are like,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of believe what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
So we go back to, though, there's a Fresh Air meeting, not
Oh.
the NPR show, but instead the environmental group in here.
Welcome back
To
to
Fresh
Brute
Air.
Force.
Brute Force. I could not think of an NPR.
I'm Ira Steele.
I'm Dolphin
Dolphin McGee.
Joe Hanahan. So at this meeting, though, they have gotten a new invitation from Mark Hold on. Here he is, Mark DeMall. Yes.
Local pizza owner.
He is a guy who, the last reading that they had of his chemical plant, they were pumping toxic fumes into the atmosphere at a rate far beyond any legal limit.
Mm-hmm.
So Fresh Air wants to go be like, hey, what do you got going on here?
I just want to make it clear that he is a local pizza owner. I don't mean like a local pizza joint owner. He bought a pizza.
Oh,
He's just a local pizza owner.
Mark DeMall is
Uh-huh.
a local pizza
Owner.
owner.
Yeah. Mhm.
Got it. Well, Brute Force ends up stumbling through while they're listening in on the meeting. So they all realize they're
Mhm.
there. They decide to secretly take them along with them to visit this
To Scary Jungle.
very, the DeMall factory there in Canada that you can see is just like billowing
It's in
out.
Canada?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
It's just billowing out black smoke, right? So much pollution.
Yeah.
And they get there and like, this
Canada,
is fresh
known
air.
pollution
Yeah. And they're like,
proponent.
they're just like, he's like, allow you to show me my facility. And some of them are like, something's really wrong here. Like, there's so much like pollution. Why? And then Mark DeMall says, this is my proudest achievement. He has created like this biosphere in his
Pants.
in his office,
Mm.
in the like plant that they have there, that everything in there has been bred to be able to survive. Like, it lives off pollution.
Okay. Sure.
The green plant, like everything grows
Everything's
off
gross
pollution.
looking. Yeah. It's kind
He's
of.
going to be able to make it to where humans can breathe pollution,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So he's obviously a bad guy.
It's not a bad plan.
No, it's not. But he's just like, I'm not going to quit polluting. I'm just going to make you all be able to deal with it.
But I'm just saying, if you got the air already,
I guess.
you know,
But don't worry.
it's like what is that thing where they dig real hard for oil?
Drill.
No, the shale thing.
Fracking?
Yeah, it's like fracking,
Oh, okay.
but for pollution. I don't know.
Drilling.
Drilling.
Uh,
You mean drilling?
yeah. Don't worry though. Brute force is there, and they're able to break in, and they're gonna go try to rescue the members of Fresh Air who are now been taken captive.
They're breaking in right in the middle of supper time.
But
And this
when they-
dude's sitting there eating a chicken leg at his very posh house.
Oh, he is. But brute force realizes, there were not really many guards we had when we broke in, and why is it this jungly looking area in
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Because when they broke into the biosphere, and they come across just this 3-headed mutated monster that obviously can.
Dragon head, snake head, wolf head.
It's evolved because it's learned to breathe pollution, I guess, is what it's a toxic menace.
So if you just take it outside, will it die?
Well, so they're fighting each other, and they're very much about in their battles. They don't want to kill they don't want to harm anybody.
Sure.
Like
Just
they're
like the
they're very
A-Team.
much like we
Yeah.
don't kill. We're better than that. We're animals. We're not humans. But in an attempt to kind of just like subdue the monster a bit, as he was going after a teammate. Oh, Surfstreak squirts him with his water gun because he sure, yeah.
Or
And
how
then
do-
all of a
how do
sudden
dolphins
it makes a
make a dolphin sound.
I don't know, something like that.
I find that very hard to do.
It is very hard, but he squirts, and
It's a very different show all of a sudden.
I know. He shoots his water gun to let this toxic menace let go of the bear in a mech suit, Mr. Reckless, and he's like, "What? And it collapses, and Surfstreak is just horrified. And he's like,
no.
"It's dead, but I didn't." And Hip Hop, our kangaroo, says, "Oh man, you hit it with clean water, right? To a creature that lives and breathes pollution, it must have been like poison to its system."
There it is.
So Surfstreak is really torn up about this
It
too.
must have been like poison to his system. Yo.
Yeah, no, the
Sure.
kangaroo is the cool one.
Yeah.
Then eventually, though,
They have a dance off and
yeah.
everybody's happy again.
So the pollution explodes. The plant explodes. The pollution plant.
It just blows up.
Yeah. Well, they set was it a bomb or self-destruct?
Oh, that'll do it almost
Hold
every
on.
time.
I don't see. There's a countdown clock here,
Mhm.
but I don't remember them leaving a bomb. Something causes the explosion,
The end
and
of
then they realize, oh, here we go. This is so funny to me, but
Yeah.
it's so wrong because of my twisted sense of humor. This is the last 3 panels of the comic book. So Reckless, our bear, says, "Wow, brought house down," because he's still even
down.
One of the humans says, "This missile, it was a missile. There you go.
Missile.
Must have detonated against the closed silo doors.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the inferno will consume the pollutant. Whatever the case, once this is reported, full cleaning of the area will take place."
Okay, good.
Then Surfstreak says, "But I'll never be able to cleanse the memory of what I did."
That's true. You and a bunch of Vietnam vets are all saying the same thing.
You couldn't have known. And anyway, from what I saw of that poor creature,
Sorry about that.
it's better off dead.
Yeah, that's rough, man. So you get this existential nightmare from this animal going, "I'll never be able to clean my conscience."
And she's like, "It's okay. It's better dead."
It's ugly. It's better dead.
And
Ugly
then they're
things
all
should
like,
die.
"That's okay. We got to go fight Mr. Frost
Got to get back to the main battle.
because it's time for us to close down our main battle, and it's the matchup you've been waiting for: Brute Force. Take 2, Brute Force versus Heavy Metal in the final showdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's that version of the song they play at the dollar store.
It is. It's the final showdown.
Beep-a-leep-beep-bee.
So what happens is there's a group of people pretending to be from this other like environmental group
Okay.
that has taken a nuclear reactor hostage and has threatened, like, unless their demands are met, that they'll cause a Chernobyl.
Isn't that anti what they want?
Well, the thing is, it's Mr. Frost hiring people
I
like he
see.
hired the clowns.
That happens.
He's trying to create a diversion, but while the cops are trying to deal with this terrorist group, Brute Force is able to go in and stop them. And they figure out all these explosives that they have that they're touting in there are non-existent. So that's how they figure out, oh, it's Mr. Frost.
Oh, I see. So it's all a
trying
show.
to create
Gotcha.
a problem, but what's he doing? Like, what's his other plan?
Mhm.
So they then go to try to find and hunt down Mr. Frost and Heavy Metal. What they do is brute force keeps one of the fake terrorists to take them back to question them, to kind of get them to be like, hey, where's the bad guys at?
Where's the
The
big?
terrorists refuse to talk, and they go and they're going to leave, and they're like, all right, we got to figure out something to do. Lionheart just walks into the room with him as the door closes, and the guard says, whatever you want, I'll talk. Just don't leave me the room again with that lion.
Yikes.
So the lion kind of tears him up a bit. As you can see, his clothes are shredded, and he is able then, he tells them, hey, I'll tell you whatever you want, but it doesn't matter because Heavy Metal has actually come to them. They're all under attack, and we get the battle that we've been waiting for. We get a bunch of action pages of just them going back and forth.
Sure.
Long story short, though, we know how it's going to end because brute force is eventually going to get the upper hand.
It's
There's
Eagles
only
running
4.
a lot of the stuff. Here.
He's the leader.
Yeah.
So, I want to see if I can finally find the last 2 names before we close out our story. But I don't remember the Rhino and the Octopus, but the team is way cooler. So Heavy Metal is a cooler looking team in general.
Oscar.
Surfstrake is just not a good name.
Surfstrake's a terrible name.
Berserk.
The octopus is Berserk.
No, a water must have driven him. Oh no, never mind.
Oh.
Must have driven him berserk. I thought it was.
We'll just call him Berserk.
It was. Sure. I could look it up. I should have done better research.
It'll suck out your soul.
I know. But brute force is finally able to kind of keep Heavy Metal at bay, and then they're like, now we've got them stopped, and we have that terrorist, the fake terrorist, who will basically squill on everything Mr. Frost has done.
Sure.
But Mr. Frost has pulled a gun and is taking that hostage has taken the fake
Hostage.
the fake terrorist hostage.
Terrorist hostage. Hostage
But
terrorist.
instead of brute force, it's Dr. Pierce who's coming to the rescue this time.
Oh, good.
As he leaps off a helicopter and punches him in the face, and the FBI arrests him and takes him away. And everybody realizes, hey, brute force is great.
Well, that was quite underwhelming
Sorry.
there at the end.
I mean, what you have here essentially is it's not bad stories at all. It's funny. It was like I talked about before. I love those comics that are just ridiculous to the point though where they're a fun read, and it's a fun read. But you can tell reading it was meant to.
Yeah, it's meant for products. This is capitalism. Right
They
here.
were just, I think, a little bit behind. I think if this comes out
5 years earlier.
yeah, or well, I
We'd
mean,
probably get
even
toys
two,
out of
like
this
you
thing.
get something
Yeah.
out of it. But yeah, I do know that they've brought brute force back, usually just to make fun of him. I'm pretty sure he showed up in a Deadpool annual, maybe.
Really?
And
cool.
there was a Disney Plus short within the past couple of years that they
Brute
made.
Force?
Yeah, but they've changed their names and stuff.
Now it's.
I think the series has like Paul Shear's a part of it. But so yeah, so I mean they've had some other appearances, but for the most part it's just those 4, and it is fantastic in the worst way.
It is.
But this is continuing a trend that I didn't realize that I was doing unintentionally.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a lot of animal themed stuff for the next couple of
Wonderful.
issues.
What's springtime?
It is summertime.
Same thing.
But the next one to the point of where it is also another animal machine hybrid. And so we'll get to that, another toy kind of branch over
Did you
thing
see they're
that's
bringing
just as
ROM
bad.
back?
So, yes, because, well, they're
Speaking of
releasing
toys for comics.
Well, they're releasing, I know they were re-releasing the Omnibus with all the Marvel comics that they released next year.
Yeah.
But they're bringing like ROM itself back too? Are you talking about like are they starting a new series?
I saw they were bringing all those, reprinting all of those. So something tells me that ROM's going to show up at some point.
Oh, probably.
I can see in a James Gunnian kind of way that ROM would show up in something.
But
I know he's
not,
Marvel. I get it. Yeah, but I'm just saying somebody's probably digging into all those minor characters like that at this point.
Well,
I mean, look at Polka Dot Man and all that stuff.
Well, that's what Marvel is to Disney. It's just more IPs for them to use.
Yeah.
So, well, that was kind of
sad.
depressing. Didn't mean to do that.
Pretty sad. Thanks.
But yeah, let's go ahead and end on a sad note. So, if listening to us wasn't sad enough, there we go.
Little children made your shoes somewhere.
Well, not mine.
Oh,
mine were made in America.
I bet they weren't.
Well, probably by little children too.
They were made in a town in China called America.
Is that their workaround?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, that was Brute Force. I'll go ahead and tell you, I know that you're not going to look it up, but if anybody else wants to get a head start on next week's, Animax is what we're looking at next week.
Animax?
Animax.
M-A-X-X?
M-A-X. Just one
It's got to
X.
be 2 X's.
I'm pretty sure it's just one X. It's also around the same time frame, the 90s, but it is also another Marvel comic. Oddly enough, it's going to be another 4-issue series, but they also had like a scrapped first issue that it seems to explain the story better than the actual issues they printed. So I'll have all that. Yeah, we'll look into all that next week. But until then, thanks as always for taking the time to listen. And until next time, stay safe. Everybody.
Animax Asia is a premium cable television network. Golly con.
Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.